If you are somebody trying to get onto a remote sales role and you're struggling to do that, I think I probably know the reason why, the main overarching reason why. And no, it's probably not because you don't have enough experience. It's probably not because you didn't buy the right remote sales high ticket closing training course. It is probably because you're not treating the process like a sales process. What most people do when they're applying to jobs, and I believe this is a hangover from the corporate system, is they'll respond to a few adverts, they'll send in a few application forms, and then they will sit back and go, oh, I really hope somebody gets back to me. And that's the extent of it. They'll probably send 2, 3 applications today, nothing tomorrow, maybe 5 on Sunday when they've got a few minutes, nothing on Monday because they got busy, maybe a few more on Tuesday. And all the while, every time you send an application, you sit back and you go, oh, I really hope that one gets back to me, or that one probably wasn't for me, but hopefully I hear something back. And this is not treating the process like the salesperson you think you are would treat that process. When you're on a roll and you're working for your commissions, you're following up with leads, or at least you should be. You're working the pipeline. You're calling up no-shows immediately, trying to get them onto that call with you. That is what good sales process looks like. Why are you not applying that to the job of getting yourself onto a sales role? I recommend people follow this mindset. You are no longer an employee. You are somebody running a small business. The service that you sell is sales services. You're a sales contractor. As a commission-only remote salesperson, that is literally what you are, but you don't treat getting onto the role like any other business owner treats getting clients. And furthermore, you don't treat getting onto that role like you would act when you are on that sales role, or like you should act when you're on that sales role. So going about it in this way, from this overarching mindset and perspective, means that, number one, you run enough volume and you run enough follow-ups to actually get in front of more people, right? It just stands to reason. Now, obviously, we all want to be in that sales position where you just set your availability and warmed up prospects show up in your calendar and you close them in one call. Obviously, that is the situation everyone wants to be in. But the reality of running a sales process is so much more than that. And you should know this if you don't, and you should know better if you already work in sales. Good salespeople know how to work their pipeline. They are never sitting still doing absolutely nothing for a day. If a call doesn't show up, they are working their leads, maybe even doing outreach. So first of all, by doing all of this, you get in front of more people. Second, by doing all of this, you increase the conversion rate of everybody you get in front of, because you are demonstrating that you can do the sales process well. Regardless of your experience, regardless of what it says on your CV, you are showing the business owner beyond doubt that you know how to run a sales process, because that is the main thing that they have to look at that you've brought to the table. That's the main value that you can bring to the table. It's the way that you show up to that application process. It's the way you show up to that outreach process and to subsequent follow-ups. So fundamentally, you must treat the application process like a sales process. I'm still actively closing right now, right? Today, the first thing I did, check through my inbox, any inbound messages, any responses to conversations that I was working on the day before. Then I checked my low-hanging fruit list. This is external of the CRM. These are the deals that are the closest to getting over the line. Went in, hammered those. Then I went through my CRM and I went through all of the deals that I'd left myself a note and a reminder to follow up with. Then I took sales calls. Between sales calls, there were a couple of no-shows in there. I went back through the pipeline, called up those no-shows, called up any unclosed prospects that we had in the pipeline, went back through, checked messages again. You get the picture. This dream situation that you have where you're just going to sit down and wait for people to book calls with you, show up and close them in one go. It may exist in some realm of possibility, but if you are taking the task of getting onto a sales role seriously, then you've got to act like that motivated salesperson that's going to do whatever it takes to get in front of somebody and then close them. Imagine you were running any other type of internet business you could be running. For example, one of the first ventures I tried to start was a social media marketing agency. And I knew going into this that my edge that I would have against the market was the fact that I knew what it took to get clients via outreach, to get onto meetings via outreach. So I spent most of my time not running a marketing agency, but selling that marketing agency, emailing people, working out targeting lists, working out which messaging worked the best, working out which messaging worked the best with the right type of prospects, which prospects were the most likely to close from that outreach. You spend a huge amount of time communicating with people, working your pipeline, building a pipeline, and trying to keep your calendar full. This is what you should be doing for your clients, and it's what you should be doing for yourself. So treat the process, the task, the mission of getting onto a remote sales role as if you were selling business services, because that is exactly what you are doing. If you go this route, if you treat it this way, you will get on more interviews quicker, and you are more likely to convert those interviews into roles. Treat it like a sales process, because it is.